Welcome back, Red Kingdom, on this live Saturday morning. EB talked to the media. We'll break down his comments. The Chiefs are rehauling their coaching staff, and Bill Belichick has to wait at least another year outside the Hall of Fame. All that next on Gridiron Gambit.
Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Let's work. Hey.
What is going on, everybody? It is another edition of Gridiron Gambit. We are your hosts, Jordan and Clinton, here to give you a little bit of Chiefs news, talk about what's going on during the week, some NFL topic things coming out that's kind of major and also yet still has Kansas City ties. So, excited to kind of talk to y'all and chap it up with my pal here. Before I go into any of our main topics, Jordan, I said I got to start out before because our guy Creed Humphrey is up for the newest NFL award about the NFL Lineman of the Year. Protector, I think, is what they call it. So there's two other Broncos players that are in that same boat. So hopefully the good guys come out on top on that one.
Oh, yeah.
But wanted to shout out my guy Creed. And then, he and Trey are essentially the only Chiefs participating in the Pro Bowl because everybody else is either injured or essentially not on the team anymore with the rest of games happening. So, at least we got something to look at. I don't know if I'm going to particularly care about the Pro Bowl. At least they acknowledge it's even less of a game. So I don't know. If I'm bored, I think they spread it out too. So it's like I got to care about the Pro Bowl on like a random Tuesday night. I don't know if I can get behind that, but I guess if I channel chasing, okay, I see my guys, I might stay on there for a little bit, but I don't think I'm changing the channel going to it nonetheless. But anything you want to say about that?
Hey, congratulations to Big Creed Humphrey. Even though we didn't have the best season of the year out of the previous years, to be honest, he still was out there protecting Patrick Mahomes, being one of the top centers in the league. So, hey, I'm still proud of you. Hey, we still rocking with you no matter what. So, but hey, I know next season you're going to be balling out even harder.
That's right. And Trey Smith will be healthy 100% again and not be battling injuries. Kingsley looked good at left guard. I might be sold on that. Josh Simmons hopefully doesn't disappear for a long time. And they use one of their picks at, like, if there's a guy within top 10 that's like right tackle, if they do that, plus the guy we're about to talk about here pretty soon, I might be down for, 2K rushing yards a season. And if Andy Reid's willing to do that, he's willing to change for anything. So I'm going to stop stalling and get right to it. Our first topic is about EB speaks to the media. So it was on Wednesday that Eric Bieniemy first appeared since we're joining the team. He mentioned, among other things, being glad to be home with the family, and Kansas City's been his home area. He's ready to hopefully invest in the running game, intent. And among other things, he loved that accountability word. So, we're ready to have that again, and everybody working hard. So what are your overall thoughts on what you heard from EB's comments?
Hey, I'm just glad that he's back home. I know him being at his little stint at Chicago, seeing him as running backs coach was pretty good. You see with Swift, and also I think it's a rookie running back that did pretty solid. So with that aggressiveness and what he did out there, it would definitely follow him back to Kansas City, which is a good thing. And just seeing him, you could just tell, like, he's just glad to be back home. Like, this was his real home, I can say. Definitely with all the love that he gave us, the talent, and what he's done with the Chiefs in the previous years. It's just good to see him back in Kansas City, knowing that I could be making these calls again. Behind Andy Reid, just being with the family again, be along with Mahomes, Kelsey, if he stays another year, and many, many more people that he's been here with. So we'll see how things go, but I'm looking forward to it.
Man, right there, you kind of sold it right there, where at any time Bieniemy's talking about Travis, it sounds like it's happening, and Travis was talking about being in the building again. I mean, it was December last year, and it really felt like Travis was kind of talking about we, them. And now he's kind of back on the we train. So we might have something to hear, and there's that rejuvenation even with the familiar. It's like, oh, I've done this before and it worked. And I think the best thing I heard from Eric Bieniemy was him acknowledging, the run game was just not working for the Chiefs last year, and he could have had those same kind of doubts and acceptances with the Chicago running back room last year. And I mean, they got all the way to the divisional round, and if Caleb Williams doesn't throw that terrible pass after his amazing pass, I don't know, they might continue going on, because that leaning on the running game has worked, and Eric Bieniemy is willing to kind of rise all the boats that are in the running back room, even if that's not what he's specifically designed to coach, just because that's where his background is. And I love going back to seeing all those old clips of him yelling at Adrian Peterson and just being like, "Oh man, this guy really cares," and like, just ready to have some fresh juice in this running back room will be nice. So, to acknowledge that they need to invest in the running game a little more. There might be some people that are loving that and think that means that they're going running back within the first 10 picks. I don't know. Or at the very least, we're not waiting till the very end of the draft to swoop up a running back anymore, or we're going to not get, a pretty good one within free agency. I think if Kenneth Walker can win a Super Bowl and they don't sign him, I think Brett Veach thinks, oh, that's a good secondary option that either is the number one or the number two on any day. And I think Andy Reid in particular doesn't always like to have the single feature back that gets every single target and attention. He likes to kind of have, oh, this guy wins this particular set of plays, or this guy wins this week versus somebody else. And just kind of having that committee and mystery around it. But, the one thing that I also like with Eric Bieniemy coming back, and it also helps the running game, and it helps in the way that Andy Reid cares about the most, because it helps the passing game. It helps the play action game. The Chiefs went from, with Eric Bieniemy on the team, being within the top 5 every year in terms of play action yards and the success rate. And last year, you could look at it, they were dead last. There was not an NFL defense going against the Chiefs when they did a play action that was really scared about the run and was willing to kind of do the thing that makes play action be successful. So if Eric Bieniemy can kind of hoist these guys up and help the offensive line a little bit, give the whatever running back room we have, gives them the concentration to do certain things and lets their skill show in the various packages they use. It won't look like last year, where like we loved Pacheco a couple years ago, but last year it might be all injury and the fact that he just kind of wore himself out so early because of how ferocious the same thing that we hyped him up for is the same thing that kind of tore him down as well.
Right. Because I was say, I feel like with Pacheco, I feel like if you put a little bit more muscle on him, I think he'll be just fine. And of course, the speed is not going nowhere because once he gets that open field, it's hard to either bring him down or a little bit catch up to him. So with Pacheco, like I said, we're gonna give him another year, definitely with Bieniemy coming back, because I can see Bieniemy seeing Pacheco like, hey, we can still use him. Of course, we still gonna use Hunt. I don't know what they're gonna do with Pierce or Clyde Wisselaire, but I feel like with the draft coming up too, also, we might be looking for that third running back just in case. But I feel like at the same time we should lean towards more for the defense. Just saying. Just a little side note there. But if we do get a running back on that one of the first 10 picks, I mean, it's good to have that option to have a third running back just in case. But at the same time, we still have a lot of options out there, just not in the running back room as well. So we got options. So to be honest, we don't need to, as I see. Well, it's debatable.
Right. I mean, if you get a good player at that position, which it's obviously the one, the single Jeremiah Love, it's the one running back from Notre Dame, the only guy that is like that top 10. But, you know, if the guy is like a top 3 overall player in the draft, I mean, it's like what will convince a defense is more you'll actually run, having the really good running back or having a dominant offensive line and smart coaching and can run whoever is there and have that same success. You know, the Chiefs, if what we saw in recent past, they think, oh, we can just take a 7th round pick, Isaiah Pacheco, and turn him into a Pro Bowl running back. We can do it. It's that easy. And it also isn't. And at this point, I think I can't even name a single running back on this roster. I'm pretty sure Pacheco is no longer. But if he wants to come back on a year or two prove it deal, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to that because of what he's shown. But I also could definitely see the Chiefs just deciding to put some new tires on and not kind of retread those same things. But I think that Eric Bieniemy could have done a lot to Isaiah Pacheco and his confidence and his ability to see holes and those minor coaching points that clearly Pacheco was lacking, as he did not have that progression of success. And the same goes for Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. They did not have a progression of success at their position, despite them being more experienced within the league. And when that happens, it either points the finger at themselves or it points it at coaching. And the fact that we've seen some coaching staff get let go shows that the Chiefs are at least willing to admit that they did kind of just assume people would figure it out when they didn't. And they've already tried to right some wrongs, so to say, or to bring some new accountability that wasn't there, where we needed to see improvements and we were seeing regression, and that just should not be the case in the NFL, even if things are kind of updating and rewiring different things. You should still be able to do the thing that you were good at before because it's still there. It's not being taken away.
Oh, yeah. So, and I'm about to say a name that I forgot to bring up that had a pretty good season last year since he was a rookie. I forgot about Smith. We could definitely be using him a lot this year because with him, he can have a comparison like Swift, that receiving running back, because he can't catch the ball because most of the time he got on the field, they was looking at him. So he got options out there. So
you got a good point there because I don't know. The running game needed something. And it seems like some new juice is gonna be able to take care of that. And you know, we're gonna have some we're going to have some choices to make in terms of how abruptly and intensely do we want to kind of fix these things, or do we just assume that if we keep doing what we've done but add just a little more attention to it, that things are going to be significantly different? And I just don't think the Chiefs can be willing to take that type of bait anymore. And what we'll get to here very soon kind of shows, even if it's at the small level, that they had some accountability that they were giving themselves. It's one thing that Eric Bieniemy is really good and makes players have accountability, but he also will make the coaches underneath him have accountability, and therefore also communicate to Andy Reid that he needs to show some accountability in what he does as well. So it kind of helps everywhere, but the running back is what needs help the most.
Let's say kind of froze up a little bit, I think, on your end, unless it's me this time again.
Okay. And, that's just me.
Let me check. I don't know if it's you or me. Let's see.
It might. It's got.
Yeah, you go in and out. 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Let me do. Nope. It looks like it's on your end.
Live shows.
Alrighty. 1 second, y'all. We having a little technical difficulties.
It's the weekend. What are you gonna do, man? What you gonna do?
There we go. Hey, and we back.
Okay. Just kept DCing me for a while. That's just what the weekend will do you, man. My internet, my Google Fiber needs some accountability. You know what I mean?
Oh Lord.
But it's cold out. I'll give it some credit.
Right.
We'll give it a rebuilding year like we have. So
it's cold out here in Kansas City.
Hey, I mean, it could be worse. It could be in the South where they're not ready for that. So
right,
for them, because y'all just got something last weekend, I'm gonna hit you again with something different. So
right.
Anything you want to speak on more about Eric Bieniemy?
Oh no, not really. Definitely, since we had the topic last week about Eric Bieniemy being back and everything. But right now, seeing him on social media, it's a good start. Talking to everybody, just seeing how he feels about being back in Kansas City, which is a good thing. And also, a lot of speculations out there saying that Eric Bieniemy is twins with Mark Henry. No, but just get a good laugh out there. But I'm glad he's back in Kansas City. He's looking good and he's ready to go.
Hey, that's a great point, because I don't know if we've ever seen Mark Henry and Eric Bieniemy in the same room, or at least within the last couple years. Like they did not look like the same person 5 years ago, but at this stage in their life, yes, they are covering copies of each other.
Loving the gray.
I would throw some Dame drops out there too. I think they're all kind of blended in. It's the same person. So if you want to
never know
that up too. So before we go ahead and move on to our more serious topics of coaching, hiring staffs, please
make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a like or comment so we can reply and interact with you and make you a part of the show. If you listen to us on Spotify, please rate us 5 stars so we can increase our reach in the playlist. Follow us and all our contributors on all the social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X. If you'd like to come on and talk Chiefs, message us so we can potentially set that up. Do you enjoy written content? Subscribe to our Substack. We have both a free and a $5 a month subscription and post on there frequently. And if you have any interest in being a contributor on the writing staff, feel free to reach out and we'll be in touch. It would help support the brand if you would purchase our merch, like the shirt that I'm wearing currently.
set up an order for one of these or 2 or 3, and this will allow us to expand our inventory options. Thanks for being a part of this channel. And if there's any partner that's listening to this interested in sponsoring the show or any other content that we produce, please reach out. Now, back to the show.
And now let's move on to our second topic, which is big enough moves. So at this point, we already talked about last week the Chad O'Shea hiring, which we said might have been the most biggest move they've made. And Eric Bieniemy kind of fortifying the running game and reestablishing the discipline was right up there. But the Chiefs are now bringing in 2 coaches from the college ranks. Nata Pagan, the wide receiver coach, most recently from Villanova, and C.J. Cox, the defensive back coach from Coastal Carolina. And they are both coming as quality control coaches. And on top of that, they've also requested to interview their former running back coach, Deland McCullough, who most recently is with the Raiders, which is why they need permission to interview him. Jordan, do you see that these are enough overhauls to show changes in motion?
I mean, it's not bad to add on some extra coaching talent out there. Definitely in other teams' situation. I mean, it's always good to bring in some more talent and options as well. I feel like having 2 wide receiver coaches ain't bad at all. It's not a bad thing. DB coach, yes, it definitely helps us out a little bit. Definitely need to work on our corners and safeties and all that stuff. Definitely, since we are, in a way, somewhat losing people and possibly losing people, I feel like just bringing in that new talent will help out the newcomers for sure. And, of course, all the veterans like Trent McDuffie's helping out Watson just to build up that talent in the DB room. Because I know our defense was decent this year, but not as we want it to be. So just having those options is always a good thing.
Agreed. With the 2 college coaches, I'm not expecting, big, gigantic impacts being made. But I think if you look into each of their resumes, and despite them being at, quote, lower level places, they did make an impact on the position that they coached. And there's something to say about that. And, it, maybe the Chiefs don't always look for the Alabama coordinators to bring in people, but they will also still look for where you are kind of punching above your pay grade in terms of the impact that you can bring. So the Chiefs needed a lot of quality control last year, or maybe the ones that they had weren't willing to say, hey, these things aren't working. And then it was up to the media and other outlets to kind of throw the truth at them. And then the reality set in way later. But it's important to have those truths while you are within it. And I think Eric Bieniemy will also be willing to kind of give that truth. And so perhaps these 2 guys in particular are able to kind of bring that to the Chiefs. If, the wide receivers say they like him, or Andy Reid tells that either one is doing a good job, or Spagnuolo calls him out, then, we'll know that that's about as much as you can expect from them in terms of what they bring. But I think what they do bring is still valuable, even if it won't directly impact what we see from the fans' perspective. It is a necessary thing, but not something that we always would see as a necessity. So the bigger thing of that news was the fact that the Chiefs want to bring back their former running backs coach, who has been with the Raiders most recently, and we've seen how the Raiders have been able to do running game. I mean, they were willing to invest a first-round pick in Ashton Genty, and
he had a great season.
And he probably would have also had his 1,000 yards if the Raiders running the offensive line wasn't so terrible to give them his minus yards. So, maybe that says, a good running back and a good running backs coach will get you success.
Right.
But, he's a familiar guy, and he was around during that kind of Kareem Hunt into Damian Williams, into Charkandrick West a few times, a Spencer Ware a few times, like that type of revolving door of running backs. So that might also signal how they're going to treat the running back position.
Yeah.
But, whether or not he can make a big impact on just the running backs, I think we've seen that. I mean, it's kind of notable that, we didn't reunite Greg Lewis with the wide receivers this year when the Baltimore staff was let go, but instead went with someone technically more experienced and had more versatility to his resume. Whereas with Eric Bieniemy, we know where he's gone, and with McCullough, we know where he's gone. Both good, but also not kind of the ascension of what you expected of them and had seen from it within your own building. But I do think that in a vacuum that the McCullough move is a good one. I don't know if it completely overhauls everything, but I do think it is safe to say the Chiefs have acknowledged their issues in some way. That now that kind of 2026 is official, they can look back at 2025 and be honest about it and not have their ego kind of hurt from the failure and the rejection of not being successful when you thought you had it all figured out. But does it scream that next year is going to be radically different than anything you've seen within this current regime? No. But maybe at this point that's not what they need. Maybe they are that good, that confident, that strong to think if we just tweak a few things here and make sure that the right things are getting communicated, that no, we got it figured out and we'll just be as right as rain again. That's why this was titled, Is It Big Enough Moves? I mean, they are moves, but are they needed? Like if we had this coaching staff coming into 2025, would you have definitely foreseen more than 6 wins on their schedule, or were they going to have the same exact problems of such and such not producing their end of the bargain, all this other stuff? Would we have seen the same 2025 season, and now 2026 is to run it back, but have these things figured out? Or is it this is a new team, a new identity, let's figure out what this team does? That's where I'm kind of left at. What do you think?
So, off topic of this one, I get asked the question, within the whole league, are we the better move? Because you see a lot of coaches are getting fired and everything. And just looking at the AFC West alone, we got Eric Bieniemy back. The Chargers bringing in Mike McDaniels.
Yep.
Raiders got rid of Pete Carroll. And Denver also, I think Sean Payton fired his whole coaching staff.
And I
if I'm not mistaken. Or got rid of some coaches.
I think the one guy he's kept was almost a Raiders coaching candidate, but I think the Raiders are probably going to get the Kubiak that's in the Super Bowl. And so, that'll be a good offensive-minded AFC West that has already been. I mean, we already had a rival host the AFC Championship game this year, so you can see how fast they climb. And if you could have a good coach and a quarterback that can get it done and the particular pieces around, like I said at the beginning of the show, Broncos have 2 offensive linemen that are like said to be one of the best 5 in all the league. So
Right.
to have that, you got to have success, and they did until destiny bit them.
Right.
But like you said, I think the McDaniel move might have been the biggest one that I saw. But I think the Chiefs are not looking for flashy. I think they want the meat and potato. And Eric Bieniemy called it chopping wood. He said, "I can't wait to chop wood with Mahomes and Kelsey." He called them both out. If he didn't think Kelsey was coming back, I don't know. Do you think the Chiefs would have told these guys, "Hey, don't mention Kelsey yet because it's too sensitive," or you're just like, "Nah, let it fly. He's either coming back or guilt trip his butt." But are these big enough moves? Probably not. But I don't think the Chiefs want to make gigantic moves at this point. They're comfortable with their kind of core, and until that whole thing falls apart, they're not going to do a giant rebuild. The Seahawks are in the Super Bowl right now because a couple years ago they were willing to kind of start blowing everything up, and then they get right back on top after they had already been there and then kind of started dozing off. I think Andy Reid and Brett Veach and Clark Hunt and Patrick Mahomes could be able to do that, but I also think they're still clinging on to their past identity, saying, "I think we can do it just one more year of the same way, and then we'll rip the Band-Aid off. Then we'll go through that painful breakup and all these things that we don't want to have to broach the subject on now. We push it under the rug, but come on, just one more time and let it go, and I swear we got it this time."
Right.
I don't want them to think that permanently, because that's just too risky, and that's how you can kind of fall off a cliff, how it felt this time. I mean, it can say on the schedule that the Chiefs don't make the playoffs and it's Patrick Mahomes being injured, but we watched the season. I mean, they weren't making it with Patrick Mahomes, so you can't really make that claim. Even if they had won that game, they weren't going to make the playoffs after that.
No.
So you can't make that argument. So the roster and the coaching fell off that cliff. I mean, they got exposed in the Super Bowl, and then they had their identity crisis all year. That entire, you think the year that it was when that Super Bowl ended throughout, and we did not even get into 2026 with Patrick Mahomes on the Chiefs. So it was not a great year for the Chiefs in general. But
yeah, because I was about to say they just still had hope, like high hopes almost. Like, yeah, we can still do it with the people we got. We still got people coming back from injuries and stuff like that. But once that first game hit in September, Xavier Worthy got hurt. Travis Kelce running into him. Coming in with injuries before the first game even started. So I had a feeling we still had that Super Bowl slouch or slum coming into the first game of the season, and it led all the way throughout the whole season. And just seeing that, I think once we seen and other teams see how that Super Bowl went, I think that frightenedness that we had from the Chiefs, or that the scares from the Chiefs went away. It was like, oh yeah, we can beat the Chiefs. And they obviously showed a lot during this past season. So hopefully we could kind of get that back and get that scary offense going, defense doing the best they can and even doing better than last season. So hopefully things can get better from here on out.
Man, I could what if you to death right now, but if Mahomes doesn't get injured and they somehow get the 7th seed, do you think we're watching the Chiefs right now?
No. I'm going to be honest now.
Yeah. I think they would have given the Patriots a scare, and they had a good enough defense with all the other defenses within the playoffs. But that offense just looked too broken beyond repair that it needed a full break.
Yeah.
To fully put it in place again and try to fix it. I wanted to be on that hype, the copium there, and be like, no, the 7th seed, we would have ran the table. We would have wild card wins, all that. We would have just done it. Every team would have been scared of us. But you're right. The Chiefs had that identity crisis and had their identity of being a dominant offense taken away. And the defense would, flow up and down. They would play up to the level they needed to, and then when the offense just wasn't producing the same way they needed to, it just shut off, and the effort level dropped. I mean, you can't say the 2025 Chiefs team tried their hardest, because we saw them try to coast and take the wheels off many times. So we've wanted Andy to play this cutthroat type of no-nonsense, foot on the neck, reminiscent of the coach that we're going to talk about here once in our last segment. But that's not how Andy Reid's, like, too polite, and I just don't know if the NFL is equipped for that anymore. I mean, lots of insider secrets, and what do I know that you don't know? And I don't know. But this team thinks that they can kind of tweak some knobs that they've had in the past, and fresh faces over here, fresh coat of paint over here, and think that they can kind of just talk themselves into a brand new house. And I mean, it's still the foundation underneath it. Is it still as strong and firm as it needs to be? That's what we're going to find out. But now that you put the right people back in their place, it's time to find out if that can still execute, or if we got to have a harder topic about Andy Reid next year. But that's here nor there. So overall, I think we're satisfied with these additions. We like the familiarity or the new faces, but not quite as flashy as you'd like a team that's always trying to win the Super Bowl every year to do. Maybe kind of resting on their laurels a little bit, kind of believing their own beliefs again, and just thinking that their way will be the way to success. And now we've got to find out if the NFL has changed and kind of moved on from that way, and it's time to adapt, or if the Chiefs still have that Jordan rules formula to get the job done. So, anything else you want to add before we move on to our final topic?
No. We just got to see, like I said, even last year, we just got to see how the season goes.
That's right. And it looks like Bill Belichick's going to have to wait another season to see how it goes, because he got Hall of Fame snubbed, y'all. The biggest news of the week is that the 8-time Super Bowl champion, 6 from the Patriots and twice as defensive coordinator with the Giants, Bill Belichick, he was not a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and he missed out on this class of inductees. Vahe Gregorian from the Kansas City Star admitted himself that he did not vote for him, and that the logic was able to vote for more senior players over the likes of an owner or a coach, as it was with Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick both being up within the same class. So what do you make of this whole story?
The fact that he has to wait a whole another year, possibly more, which would be stupid, is just crazy. This man is an eighth-time Super Bowl champion. Like, come on. I feel like at this point, they're going to try to put Brady and Belichick in the same class, I feel like, in a way.
Yeah.
That's what I can see. But, I mean, you might as well put them in there now. Why wait? It's so many players, coaches that should be in the Hall of Fame now, but there's not, which is crazy. But, hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles in the NFL world. And sometimes you try to put politics in it, but I don't know why. But it is just crazy how Belichick got to wait another year to get put in the Hall of Fame. But just seeing it in my eyes as a fan and not as them being part of the committee and all that stuff, or whatever, they're going to put Brady and Belichick in this Hall of Fame together, I feel like. So,
Yeah, they can make it more symbolical, but
in a way, yeah.
I mean, say what you will about the Hall of Fame and the fact that it is player focused 100%. Like, if you played football, then they want to try to make you within the Hall of Fame through whatever their restrictions are. But man, when you're a head coach, Super Bowl winner 6 times over, and having 8 rings to show up to the ceremony, and that's not enough to get you in the Hall of Fame right away,
It's crazy.
good Lord. Like, what more do you have to prove? And
Nothing.
a lot of it goes down to, Spygate. We need to make these other players that might not be available to vote on in the Hall of Fame ever again. These are stupid rules, man. These are stupid restrictions that don't need to be there.
Yep.
This is too much restricted for the sake of it. If players or a coach or whoever, an owner or whatever is worthy, their peers will make that known, and then that grows. So and the fact that this stuff got leaked, and the fact that we can talk about this, and that the Hall of Fame responded that this was terrible and we shouldn't have these type of kind of tampering or exposing of stuff, just shows y'all are doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it had to be a choice whether to do Bill Belichick or help somebody else get voted in who might never get a shot, that is such a terrible way of thinking. Why do these players in the past just get completely wiped away if they never make it this year? And then this kind of this running goose chase to try to get them in at the right time before anything happens, or a player passes away and they need to try to get him in that year or two after that, just for kind of that symbolic thing. You're right. It politicizes. It makes it a bigger thing than just honoring the people involved in the pro sport that we as fans care about, that media is cared about, that the collective has cared about. All these reasons why football matters and why the players that did it mattered and have notoriety in some way. It's dumb. Like, the fact that it has to become a conversation point, that Bill Belichick doesn't make it. Like, in a reality where Bill Belichick does that, what more does he have to prove to not be a first ballot Honkley? Okay, you hear that, coaches? Andy Reid, don't retire anytime soon. You better get at least 8 more Super Bowls,
right?
Plus the one you already have. But then, if you live the amount of time after you retire, before maybe you'll make it to the ceremony.
It is crazy. I feel like they got to do this to a lot of great coaches like there. For example, Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin. They go snub him out of a couple years of being in the Hall of Fame. So
it's like, why can't other sports be like the college basketball and football Hall of Fames, where you could still be coaching, you could still be playing? Like, the playing time runs out, you would assume, a lot shorter than a coaching time does. And if you're a really good coach, that goes on way longer, but you might have different stops along the way. But in the college ranks, you can still be voted in while you're participating.
While you're still coaching, yeah.
Like Bill Belichick, he didn't need to. It didn't have to be a conversation if Bill Belichick wasn't a first ballot. If he could have just been voted in after he proved his worth after 5 Super Bowl wins, it's like, yeah, right. I think he's good, guys. I think he's proved his point.
Right.
It's like Patrick Mahomes can make the Hall of Fame now. Like, he doesn't have to have 10 more years and then 5 more years and then his off time where he's not, and then bring him in. They should just be voted in as they're proving themselves. Because then that does give you more time to look back and say who from the past was really good that we didn't notice because we didn't appreciate them within their era. That's why it's like, oh, why is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? I think if you chose to a certain point, they would be. But then the longer the time extends, the more excuses you have not to.
Right.
So why would you want to give anybody excuses not to honor you? Either because of your past success or something you're going to screw up in the future. Like, shoot, just honor people for when they deserve to be honored. It doesn't have to be this whole waiting period and first ballot and this and that. Like, it shouldn't have to be this issue. But
like definitely with Mike Tomlin, 19 straight years of winning seasons, even if it was 8-8 or 9-8. Like, he still had winning seasons with one Super Bowl along with that 19-year stretch. Like, I feel like that's a Hall of Fame resume. Like, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Especially in the modern day. Like, coaches
the game
don't survive.
The game has changed a lot.
Right. Coaches don't survive almost 2 decades on the same team. That doesn't happen. Not
at all.
Owners are much too wishy-washy about that. They want immediate success, but the Patriots or the Steelers cared about consistent. So that's what they got. And now they're finally like, you know what? I think we acknowledge we need to suck for a little bit so maybe we can be really good again. Because we always tried to be really good, but then we established that being good was our standard. So as long as we met being good, that was it. So, the Steelers kind of fed into that problem of like, well, Mike, you had a winning season. We can't let you go. We that would be dumb of us. So, but also not doing more than what you have. And that also might point to ownership. That might point to team roster construction. That might, there's not been a bad coached Mike Tomlin team on the Steelers, whether or not it's a good roster.
Right.
But you can't say a bad thing about what Tomlin did. So, but then, there's been coaches that coached on really terrible teams that never really won anything. But if you ask their peers or knowers of ball, you'd be like, yeah, he was amazing. Archie Manning. In the NFL, like Peyton and Eli's father, he didn't do jack squat in the Saints, but he was good. Is he worthy of being a Hall of Famer? I don't know. To the people that watched the 1970s and 80s football, yeah, he might be. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, either allow that present day generation to influence while still having the past ones to bring up, or figure out how to split it up a little bit. Because if you got guys who watched 70s football, they might have some thoughts about 2020s football, or Bill Belichick, the 2000s and 2010s and 2020s football. And that might be their standing memory instead of a triumphant thing that another player in the past did. So the fact that kind of warps your brain, and that basically ended up the reason why Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer at this moment is just maddening. It should not have to be this this situation. It shouldn't be this way. The formula to choose Hall of Famers, it shouldn't have to be this catastrophic.
Right. So I know to the football fans period out there, I know we Chiefs don't like the Patriots. Yeah. But just tell me how y'all feel about Bill Belichick being snubbed out of the Hall of Fame this year. Go ahead and post it in the comments, because it's blasphemy, as of Stephen A's favorite word is blasphemy. And I just feel like, yes, he should have been in the Hall of Fame this year. And just even when he was done coaching with the Patriots, I felt like he should have. That next year, oh, yeah, he's in. Like, he did everything worthwhile. He got 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, 2 as a defensive coordinator. Like, yeah, he's worth being in there. Like, no hesitation. But I see it as a little side thing. Like, they go put Brady and Belichick both in the same Hall of Fame class. So that's where I'm leaning towards now, since he didn't get in there now. So
True that. I mean, we can keep harping on how ridiculous this Bill Belichick snub is, but I mean, that's not adding any more to it. So we've already said the need for change, but yeah, it doesn't pass the smell test. It doesn't match you say it out loud. Bill Belichick was not inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. Like when you say these things, your brain questions if you made a mistake. That read wrong. Basically, and you're just left thinking, how is this possible? So that's where we're at. I mean, most of it they say is about Spygate. Some of it they mention trying to help other players get inducted in. Does any of it have to do with the fact he goes to college and has a terrible college season now that that football looks this way in the 2020s? I don't know.
If they feeling like that, I feel like they should do the same thing with Brady if they asking those type of questions.
And it just goes to show, if you're going to go out on top. So that way there's no debate about, man, you could have been so much better or this or that. Because evidently the longer you stick around, the more you expose any of your weaknesses. And as soon as somebody's got your weakness, that's a good enough excuse. So
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. But poor Bill. He and his young girlfriend, they're just gonna have to soak it up on their boat for a while. They'll get over it, I'm sure.
Right.
But now that it might be more, demonstrative Hall of Fames, where we're gonna choose specific years to put certain players in, and that way we can have them together, and it'd be this whole thing. If we're gonna do that and make it pageantry, okay. But if you are just going to have stated facts that Bill Belichick was not a Hall of Famer the first year he was eligible to, then it's like, okay, why talk about the integrity of the Hall of Fame then? If O.J. Simpson can stay within the Hall of Fame after being arrested for crimes, if the Hall of Fame is so permanent that you can't undo being within the Hall of Fame, why are we so cautious about putting certain players or coaches in, and how volatile it is about their success?
At
it's
this
just
point,
doing too much.
Put Marshawn Lynch in the Hall of Fame. That's my boy.
That would be the best Hall of Fame speech of all time, and he wouldn't say anything. That would be phenomenal.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
He'd do like some stage play, and it'd be fantastic, and we'd all watch it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That man is a legend of his own.
But do you have any more you want to talk about before we send people home?
We love y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Red Kingdom Media. We are still on the go to 500 subscribers on YouTube. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and all our social media platform. Hey, we are still here. We're going to keep the thing rolling. And also be ready for the reel for tomorrow, because I will be there.
Hey, and then I'm going to step my game up a little bit and hope the TikTok likes all the little shorts they're going to get, because I'm going to try to do that as much as I can out of our shows. And that way we can stretch this bad boy out so it doesn't look like our YouTube has just died off. We're still here.
We are still here.
We're taking in the season, ending the off season. It was a very strange time around here. Okay, give us our grace. We're still here. We're still talking, smiling, giving you all the love and cheap talk that we can give to you. So thank you for sticking it out with us. We're sticking it with you. We'll be back next weekend. We're going to have – we might even talk about the Super Bowl. I don't know how much we're going to want to, but, I mean, it's relevant in the NFL. Whether it's not, it's really relevant in the Red Kingdom here anymore.
Yeah.
But, for those listening to podcast only, Jordan just flashed up his WWE belt for the Chiefs.
It's the Royal Rumble.
Hey, and I'm telling you right now, as of we're done this recording, it starts in 1 hour, not 2 hours. So make sure you're ready for that. It's 1 p.m. around here, not 2. So you gotta be ready on that. I already texted Jordan, hey, you gonna blink and go about your Saturday routine. Oh shoot, where did the entire afternoon go? So that's why we're ending it here. We hope you all enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. As we approach this week, going to have a lot of things going on. Going to have the news of the NFL honors and the Pro Bowls and all that other stuff. So we'll see how much we want to talk to you guys about it, how much we think is worthwhile. But you'll definitely be hearing from us again. So thank you from myself and Jordan at Red Kingdom Media. We appreciate you guys for watching, listening, tuning in, however you did. And as always, go Chiefs.
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom Media.